Hi, my name is Carrie Ann Price, Project Manager for the DBJ Serve Jamaica program. Under the Serve Jamaica program, the DBJ has launched 3 new exciting products to assist MSMEs to get right back on track from this COVID-19 pandemic. They are the Go Digital Voucher, DBJ MSME Go Digital Loan, and DBJ MSME Recovery Loan. The Go Digital Voucher for technical assistance offers a grant to cover the cost of attaining business services up to a maximum of $300,000 inclusive of GCT. This grant is only available to micro and small businesses with revenues not exceeding $75 million annually. Now, also under this program, business owners can access a Go Digital Voucher to transform their businesses electronically. Some of the services available under this grant include, but are not limited to, the following: general business services such as accounting and electronic payroll system, HR applications, CRM software, electronic marketing, including social media, website development, e-commerce platform, and payment gateways. Business productivity tools are also available and include video conferencing and electronic records management. Please note that the grant cannot be used to acquire hardware or for working capital support, the purchase of equipment, and payment for business operational expenses. The Government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Finance and Public Service, has provided an additional $1 billion through the DBJ's Go Digital Loan Facility. With the Go Digital Loan, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises with revenues not exceeding $425 million per annum will be able to access the loans through several financial institutions to fund hardware, software, and other services for digitalizing their businesses. Also, business owners can use this loan to acquire laptops, smartphones, portable point-of-sale machines, e-commerce, and digital payment solutions. Also obtainable under this facility is the acquisition of and training in software, including cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity, digital productivity tools, and business applications such as accounting software, HR, and payroll systems. The features of this facility include, but are not limited to, the following: a loan limit per sub-borrower of $800,000 at a maximum interest rate to the sub-borrower of 2% per annum, which is fixed on the reducing balance. Also, repayment over a period of up to 3 years. A maximum moratorium on the principal of 3 months can also be facilitated where the project plan justifies it. And also, business owners can borrow up to 90% of the project costs, but are required to provide a contribution of 10%. Now, let's talk about the MSME Recovery Loan. In addition to the MSME Go Digital Loan Facility, the government has also provided an additional $2 billion through the DBJ's MSME Recovery Loan Facility, which enables lenders to reduce the debt service burden for MSMEs with viable projects that are either seeking to expand, pivot to take on new opportunities, or to refinance high-cost debts. This will ultimately give businesses time to recover from the negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Under this loan facility, MSMEs with revenues not exceeding $425 million per annum will be able to access the loans through participating financial institutions for working capital support, new capital expenditure projects, debt consolidation, refinancing of high interest rate business loans, business overdrafts, and business credit cards. Also, the purchase of real estate for use by the business is also permitted under this facility. The features of this facility include, but are not limited to, the following: a loan limit per sub-borrower of $10 million. The maximum interest rate to the MSME is 5% per annum and fixed on the reducing balance. Repayment is over a period not exceeding 8 years, and the DBJ is also willing to facilitate a maximum moratorium on principal of 12 months. And finally, the DBJ will fund up to 90% of the project cost. However, the MSME must provide a 10% contribution towards the overall project cost. So there you have it. the DBJ's 3 new exciting products which are available to all sectors. The DBJ Go Digital Voucher, which businesses can access 100% up to a maximum of $300,000 for digital transformation services. The DBJ MSME Go Digital Loan, which offers sub-borrowers up to $800,000 at 2% over 3 years to access digital transformation software and hardware. And finally, the DBJ MSME Recovery Loan, which allows businesses to access up to $10 million at 5% over 8 years. These loans are available through DBJ's approved lenders, including commercial banks, credit unions, and microfinance institutions. For further product information, please visit www.dbjserve.com or contact your bank and ask for a DBJ Serve loan to help you pivot, recover, and grow.
The DBJ.
Recovery sure and smart to give all and a brand new start. Helping hands your dreams deserve. DBJ Serve.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the launch of Jamaica's Go Digital Marketplace. Please stand for the national anthem of Jamaica. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and we welcome you to the launch of Jamaica's online Go Digital Marketplace, GoDigitalJM.com. My name is Edison Galbraith, General Manager, Channels, Relationships, and Marketing at the DBJ, and I'll be hosting this segment for you. The Go Digital Marketplace is a partnership between the Development Bank of Jamaica and the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance to create a one-stop shop where businesses can find the solutions and suppliers that they need to go digital, and ultimately to drive economic growth and job creation. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our keynote speaker for today, Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Welcome, Minister. We welcome our Managing Director, Mr. Milverton Reynolds, as well as Ms. Stacy Hines, President of the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance. In keeping with COVID protocols, our audience is joining us virtually today, and so we welcome members of our board, our management team, and other members. We especially welcome heads of business associations, financial institutions, members of the media, our tech suppliers, and our MSMEs, and everyone else tuned in on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. As we all go digital, we encourage you to like, share, and follow our channels for updates. Without further ado, we get into the program. At this time, we'll have our opening remarks by our Managing Director, Mr. Milverton Reynolds, and I'll just give you a quick introduction to Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds joined DBJ as Managing Director in 2007 after a distinguished career in the private and public sectors, ultimately heading entities such as Life of Jamaica and NHT, among others. Over the past 15 years, he has transformed the DBJ into what you see today, an institution delivering a range of successful initiatives to support economic growth, job creation, and development, all while maintaining the bank's stability. While these initiatives have included support for large investments, strategic investments, business process outsourcing, privatization, venture capital, private equity, he has a soft spot for MSMEs and has driven a raft of programs to support entrepreneurs, ranging from capacity building, innovation grants, loans, guarantees, and equity. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Milverton Reynolds to deliver the opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies, Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Ms. Stacy Hines, the President of Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance, who hasn't joined us just yet, and of course, Mr. Edison Galbraith, our General Manager for Channels, Relationships, and Marketing. I'll also like to say a special welcome to our board members who are joining online and our members of staff who will be joining us online as well as the heads of the other organizations that Edison just mentioned. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, both here on site at the UWI regional headquarters and online. I would, of course, like to give a very special welcome to Senator Auburn Hill to our event this afternoon, and indeed to thank him for taking the time from his demanding schedule to participate as our guest speaker. However, to those of us who know him well, that's not surprising, as he has been really he's had a very close relationship with the DBJ for many years, and he currently is the minister without portfolio in the ministry that the DBJ reports into. So thank you, Minister. We look forward to hearing your usual words of wisdom. I am indeed incredibly pleased to be here this afternoon to sign an agreement with the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance, Jtda, which will see us, in effect, deliver an essential service to the MSME business community in the DBJ's drive to facilitate economic growth and development. Today's event is another step in DBJ's determination to make the DBJ SERVE program as accessible as possible to the MSMEs that we support right across the island. The SERVE program is designed to ease the struggles that the pandemic has brought onto the local small, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Some of these struggles include the slowdown of business, the ineffectiveness, especially of the old ways of doing business, the inability to repay debts leading to layoff of employees, the loss of revenue, and indeed, in far too many cases, closures. We can see for ourselves that the impact has been particularly hard because of the way we do business. The pandemic has taught us that if existing businesses are to survive, and if they are to start new ones, change is crucial. However, many business persons are resistant to change, while others really don't know how to make the change in order to stay alive in business, thus become comfortable in the traditional way of doing businesses, doing things. That is in person, paper-based, or via mortar and brick operations. But as we are now experiencing, the old ways of doing business is neither profitable nor sustainable. The world is changing. Maybe it's a bit too fast for many of us, but we have to accept the change, or we will literally have to fold up and lock shop, so to speak. We must learn not only the new language of business, but also how to apply them to the modern ways of doing business. So, along with terms such as e-commerce, digital payroll system, digital payments, online banking, cybersecurity, cloud infrastructure, and digital productivity tools, business people must change their mindset and learn to use the computer, figure out how to make digital processes work for them, and basically to move into the 21st century. We are here this afternoon to tell you how the Development Bank of Jamaica, in collaboration with Jtda, formerly known as the Jamaica Computer Society, will help the local MSME sector to do just that. Earlier this year, the DBJ was mandated by the Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark, to create several products and services under the SERVE program to alleviate the conditions caused by the pandemic and make it not only easy and accessible, but also inclusive for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises to get back on track. The outcome was the DBJ SERVE program, which some of you might recall we launched on September 15th. And I am very pleased to share this afternoon with you that since the launch, just under 2 months ago, the DBJ has approved just about $1 billion to 9 participating financial institutions, which they will then disburse to their clients. Of that amount, we have already disbursed $536 million. And further to that, I can confidently tell you that we have an overall demand to date of some $2.9 billion of funds, $2.3 billion for the recovery loan, and $600 million for the Go Digital voucher and loan products. Now, remember we got $3 billion, $1 billion for the loan for the Go Digital, $2 billion for the recovery loan. In effect, based on the demand that we're seeing and the indications that we're receiving from our financial institutions, it is very clear that we really are going to be oversubscribed for the loan facility. We are extremely proud of the progress we have made and are using every chance we get to let every Jamaican entrepreneur in the MSME community know and make use of the product and services under the SERVE program. Our agreement with the Jtda to provide a website to help us in this effort is a great opportunity for us to stimulate sustainable private sector-led business-to-business market for digitization services, a market that we hope will outlive the SERVE program. And to this end, the DBJ entered into an agreement with the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance to create a website that will list all the suppliers of goods and services in digital technology right across the island, allowing business owners to, 1, easily identify their digital needs, 2, choose their preferred supplier, 3, get advice and training on how to maneuver themselves and their businesses through the no doubt daunting digital maze. But there's no getting around it. We must embrace change in order to grow. In this regard, please allow me to say how very proud and pleased I am with today's signing of the agreement between the DBJ and the Jtda. Indeed, it is the brainchild of our Edison Galbraith, one of our DBJ managers who really is very famous for thinking outside of the box. It is also the culmination of many hours of discussion, imagination, and hard work for Edison and his team with the Jtda. It in fact, is a perfect example of what can happen when government collaborates with the private sector to bring to Jamaicans services which have the potential to improve our standard of living, our quality of life, and overall development of our nation. And at this point, I would like to congratulate the Jtda on its recent agreement with Real Decoy, a global digital commercial company, to develop a crowdfunding platform for local and Caribbean technology projects and fundraisers. I would also like to congratulate Real Decoy, who incidentally is one of our business development organizations registered with the DBJ to provide services under the Go Digital voucher program. So let me say thanks to the Jtda for its immediate response to our proposal, and to specifically acknowledge the Jtda President, Stacy Hines, who has worked very closely with the DBJ team to make this website a reality. We at the DBJ hope that this is just the start of a long and mutually fruitful relationship. Finally, I am imploring all business operators to take advantage of this incredible opportunity that the DBJ SERVE program has given to the MSME sector. But before I close, allow me to remind you of the parts of this SERVE program, and they are the Go Digital Grant. It will allow business owners to take their businesses online through e-commerce, web marketing, installing online payroll systems, e-payments, video conferencing, and many, many more services, which will make the difference between thriving and dying. The Go Digital Loan, to acquire computers, software, other goods to advance business operations, and the Recovery Loan, which can be used for working capital, new capital expenditure projects, debt consolidation, refinancing high interest business loans, clearing up overdrafts, and indeed, credit card business expenses can also be refinanced under this program. Please note that we do have other products and services that can be used in conjunction with the SERVE products. Chief among these are the Voucher for Technical Assistance grant program and our partial guarantee, the Credit Enhancement Facility, which will guarantee up to 50% of any loan up to $30 million, and for small loans of $11 million or below, we guarantee up to 90%. I must tell you that the Credit Enhancement Facility is perhaps our leading product, as to date, some $80 million in loans under the SERVE program has been backed by our Credit Enhancement Guarantee. And we encourage you to act quickly, really, really get going, as the funds under this program will be available for a relatively short period. All the funds have to be committed by March 2022. And as I have said in another forum, the COVID-19 pandemic has catapulted us into a new world of doing business. And we must adapt to these new ways of doing business by adopting technology, getting comfortable with the possibilities and the benefits that technology provides, so that when the pandemic ends, and indeed it will end, we will still be standing and moving forward. In a phrase, we must pivot and recover so that we can grow. The DBJ can help you to do just that. For additional information on the DBJ SERVE program, or to get your question answered, simply, 1, visit our websites, www.dbjserve.com, and the joint Jtda /DBJ website, www.dbjserve.com. goddigitaljm.com. Complete or please contact me form on the websites. Use our WhatsApp text line 876-371-3830 or email us at dbankjm.com. Let me repeat that again. Email us at mail@dbankjm.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. And can we see that virtual applause going up online on Zoom and all the channels? Thank you very much for those words. And again, Mr. Reynolds took us through the DBJ Serve products and is reminding all our MSMEs, our tech providers, everybody, that these facilities are only available until the end of March 2022. So you have to act now. As a result of that, we at the DBJ, we've accelerated our programs. We've said from the outset that we're partnering with the private sector to get these things done. We're bridging the gap between the private sector providers, the private sector lenders, as well as the private sector businesses. A critical partner in this effort has been the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance. And so at this time, I'm going to introduce Stacy Hines. Stacy Hines is the president of the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance, an organization helping to advance Jamaica's digital transformation and economy. She is a Caribbean tech sector leader with over 18 years experience. She was recently selected as one of the top 50 Caribbean women in tech. In her day job, she's also a group strategic planner at the ICD group. She serves on several boards driving innovation, technology, and empowerment. She's a co-founder and executive board member for a Canadian-based network of Black business and professional women. There are so many things about Stacy Hines that we could list, but I think at this point, we'll just let her speak for herself. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear from Stacy Hines, the president of the Jtda, and she's also going to lead us into an introduction into how the Go Digital JM platform works. So welcome, Stacy Hines. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Edison, for setting up the stage for me. I'm really pleased to be here today and to be a proud Jamaican citizen in sharing this initiative and also in the official launch of our Go Digital JM platform. The intention of this platform is really to not only advance our MSMEs, but to also enable our tech sector vendors and digital service providers in their ability to attract and retain customers locally, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to widen that to the Caribbean region. We have spent a few hectic weeks between myself and one of our member organizations, DMA Limited, who partnered with us on building this amazing platform that we expect will serve not just the MSMEs and the tech vendors, but also the needs of organizations like the DBJ, as well as other entities who are seeking to understand and get a better picture of what our MSME sectors representatives need in the space of technology, and also what is necessary for us to continue to do the work on the ground to help them build capacity and capability. So without further ado, I want to ask that we run the demo of our platform. We are in the beta phase, also known as our first version. And what this demo is meant to show you is the setup that is available for persons who are going to be vendors. So they want to set up themselves as a tech vendor to offer their services. And once the person that is running the company, we recommend highly that it is the owner or someone that has information about the company and is able to actually enter that information. We authenticate or ensure that they're the person who is supposed to be adding this information to the platform. They'll be able to set up a profile about themselves and about the offering that their company provides. So you'll see that there's quite a bit of detail that we capture. And one of the reasons why we do this is because we don't want just anyone on the platform. We want to ensure that we are offering the services of our elite tech vendors, those who have customers that can actually say and validate the experience that they've had. We want the experts, the persons who have exhibited best practices in the space of technology. And so what you'll see happening on the demo is just the information that's being required from the business side to identify themselves as vendors. Then we have multiple categories, and eventually we'll have subcategories loaded to the platform that will allow persons to specify the area of technology that they serve. For some persons, it'll be tangible things like dealing with your infrastructure. Maybe you need help with your laptops, or you need help with setting up your office. And then for others, it will be software developers who will actually provide services like DMA did for us with building out websites or marketplaces or other types of software applications. As I shared earlier, we also want to make sure that we are vetting companies who have existing customers. Customer experience is something that we know is really critical. Everyone nowadays is accustomed to seeing reviews. When you log on to any of the other marketplaces like Airbnb or Amazon or Uber, you'll get to see reviews. And what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to showcase customers and vendors who have had great experiences, so that when our MSMEs log on, they'll actually be able to see persons' experience with the vendors, and then they can make their choice, not just based on trusting that the vendor has done a good job, but also based on the actual customers that they've served, giving feedback. Now let's talk about the MSMEs. The MSMEs also have a way that they'll be able to go in and actually check to see whether or not they have vendors that meet their needs. And so that's one of the reasons why it's really important for our vendors who are registering to select the categories that they can provide services in. All right, so what you're seeing now on the screen is just a vendor walkthrough and being able to add their company profile. So when an MSME logs on and they've checked in and said, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Hey, I need a great web developer. They're able to see that this company is not only web development, but if anything else that they want to add, they'll be able to put that in the business description. So depending on how detailed a vendor wants to get, and we highly recommend that you put as much information as possible on your profile so that the MSMEs will be able to choose wisely based on that. There's also some customization available where you can add your logo. So there is some branding that is also available to you. For example, here we've used, I think it's the Jtda logo that was selected as the example. And what branding helps to do for the vendors in particular is they can use the platform as a way to market their services. Now, while we expect that many tech vendors will have their own website, sometimes people can't find them, right? And so now that we have this hub, John in this instance, who is actually registering his business on the platform, will be able to showcase himself and all the different things that he's able to offer to an MSME. Now, what you have just seen is the MSME going in and saying, hey, I need to find someone that can help me with these items. And then once they've actually logged in, they can look and see, okay, this business actually supports the service that I'm looking for. For the MSMEs, it's very straightforward to actually register. And we want to make sure that you also have access to the loan options and other funding options through the DBJ Serve program that are available to you. So not only are we showcasing our technology vendors, but we are also highlighting how you can facilitate funding for your different technology needs. So again, I want to encourage all of our MSMEs out there, especially if you have that DBJ voucher or you have that loan lined up and you're ready to spend, to log on to the platform. We have vendors that are not only offering services in the space of technology, as far as infrastructure, cybersecurity, data privacy, digital marketing, but we also have consultative services and training available to you, so that if you're not familiar with what exactly the service provides or how to get the best value for your money, there are also trainers available on the platform who specialize in making sure that you are able to build capacity and enhance your capabilities in the space of tech. So thanks again to the DBJ for partnering with us on this program. We're excited about this first version of the application and look forward to continued building with the DBJ.
Thank you so very much, Stacy Hines, for those remarks. The DBJ clearly is very, very happy to have partnered with the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance, and definitely with Stacy Hines, who has been a tower of strength on this initiative with us. So there you have it. The DBJ Serve program has funding available. We have several financial institutions, as Mr. Reynolds outlined, that have already drawn commitments. Now we're creating a marketplace along with the Jtda, the private sector working with the private sector, and DBJ supporting that. So we're imploring and pleading with all our tech suppliers to go on and register, our MSMEs to go on and look for the services that you need to go digital. As MD said, March 2022 is when this funding expires, so do it now. Go digital now. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having remarks from our keynote speaker, Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill. And I'm just going to give some very, very quick, if it can be done quickly, remarks in introducing the minister. Armed with a Harvard MBA, Minister Hill has over 35 years working experience in the private sector. As an international banker, he has lived in 9 countries and done business in over 115 countries. As a true patriot, he nevertheless returned to Jamaica in 2002 and has applied his expertise to lead transformational projects, including the successful turnaround of National Commercial Bank and the divestment of government-owned sugar assets. Minister Hill has served on various private sector and public sector boards. In 2016, more recently, he was appointed to the Senate, and he was subsequently elected Deputy President of the Senate. He has served as non-resident High Commissioner for Jamaica to India and as CEO of the Prime Minister's Economic Growth Council. In 2020, Senator Hill assumed his current role as Minister in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, where his portfolio responsibility includes several things: land, water, business process outsourcing, special economic zone authorities, and Jamaica Financial Services Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll stop there. I could go on for another hour with this intro, but please join me in welcoming Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill to deliver the keynote address. Welcome, Senator.
We're all vaccinated, Eddie, so we could shake hands. I recommend to anybody watching here that you should go out and get your vaccination. The downside risk of not getting it can be absolute. We hope not. The other side risk is really, some of it is speculation. More importantly, for the world to get back, for Jamaica to get back to where it has to get work going, we need to get people vaccinated. We understand that some people are hesitant. I still encourage you, having done it myself, that you get vaccinated. But you know, when I came here, I want to point this out to you. There's a whole heap of money going on around here. Before I tell you the money, I have to say thanks to Eddie, my friend, who is the general manager for Channels, Relationships, and Marketing at DBJ and is the master of ceremony for the evening. We went to school long time ago. well, not so long, but long. We went to Monroe College together. We're from St. Elizabeth. Milverton Reynolds is the managing director of the DBJ for all these years. And Ms. Stacy Hines, who is the president of Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance. I think it was called the computer, yes, SAD before. They're all here. And I come around here, and I took a little walk around before we started. We sat at the head table, and there are a whole heap of young people. They had to invite Milverton and myself to balance things out. Young people, really, really young people, and I'm so enthused about that. And young people are being offered, and others, a lot of money from, and I hold this up while it says DBJ, it's a whole heap of taxpayers' money, and many thanks to Minister Dr. Nigel Clark from the Ministry of Finance for making it available. $1 billion in Go Digital loan. You go set up your business to make sure it's digitally aligned, and you get money to borrow at very reasonable, 5%, I think is what I read. 2%, 2% for good. In other words, to get yourself technology arranged, the government is arranging to give you money at 2%. You can't want better. It's like for free. Then you go to the MSE recovery loan. That one I'm used to because that's loan business, and I'm from the commercial bank. You can get it to restructure your business, buy office space, buy people services, get your loans collated together. There are $2 billion in that. And then there is $100 million just to get a voucher. Nice voucher you can go spend at any one of these technology places that are in here today and offering you the services that Ms. Stacy Hines represent. So there is money to make sure we leapfrog from pre-pandemic, through pandemic, jump over it and get to digital. And I'm so happy to be here today to talk about all that idea of getting to digital and with taxpayers' money. Now, we can't give it away for free. It's not for free. You have to pay it back, all right? You have to go and work. But you're all young. You're strong. What enthuses me about coming here to speak today is the ecosystem that is being built. I looked at virtual reality around here. There's a robot around here. If you want to come and see a robot, built in Jamaica, made by Jamaicans, young Jamaicans, come take a look. And you will be amazed at what's going on. And then the thing about this SERVE program that DBJ, that also enthuses me, it is so inclusive. During the pandemic, you can't get to go to the bank. If you go to the bank, them tell you so you have to have hold up a mask and wash your hand in alcohol and stand many miles away from each other. Well, all you have to do is get close to your computer. And DBJ will lend you money to buy the computer. You can't get better than that. So all this stuff is inclusion. Now, it's coming from the government of Jamaica. I'm a minister of government, so there's no apology. May I tell you, say, it's coming from the government. So many times we get cursed, but sometimes we do some good things. And sometimes there's a lot of money. So this time is good money coming at you from the government through DBJ and the Ministry of Finance and private sector participants. Because DBJ is only largely in one place, but the banks are all over the place. But in order to get the business, the banks are telling you, you must have your own device. They're not telling you not to come into the branch, you know. Not in so many words. But then tell you that you can go to the ATM and then tell you can get your stuff on your device. So they want to make sure that you get the money, but you use your device. Now, all this ecosystem being built around here, the government is not only helping to finance it, but we're adding NIDS very soon. What does NIDS mean to you? NIDS will mean that when you have this unique ID, and I want to stress unique, nobody else can have yours. That's the whole point of taking so much time to make sure NIDS works the way it should work, so that you are, when you turn up as John Reynolds, Mr. Reynolds' son, is only you. Him not having a son named John, we know all of them. So me just say use that one. You can be identified as you. The bank, your church, your traffic company, your taxi operator will say, all right, here's my, you can pay me by card, but you know, just give me a needs card, nothing else. You won't need to carry all that cash around. And the lady who is not 24 anymore, maybe in her 70s, don't have to worry, because the NIDS will identify her to help her get her pension faster. She don't have to go into any bank anymore. All this inclusion is coming in this SERVE program and will be coming in when NIDS comes along. I spent a few weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was at the University of Arizona State University, about 124,000 students. We went there for a number of things, but part of that was cybersecurity. This whole ecosystem that you young people are building is building up into a bigger system whereby in 10 years' time, and we will have to work at it, and I'm challenging you right here, and those of you hearing me on the internet, in all the portals that this is being carried on, is that in 10 years' time, we should be building, we will be building, the university, people from the University of the Arizona State University will be here in the middle of this month to continue that discussion. And it was serious. It happened to be 4 ministers of us. Mr. Darrell Vaz, Minister of MSET, Mrs. Favour Williams, Minister of Education, Mr. Matthew Samuda from Ministry of National Security, and myself. They're coming to be with us to look at setting up a cyber security university type arrangement in collaboration with them, but in Jamaica. In other words, early, maybe 25 years ago, Singapore said, we're going to specialize. And they picked out the nose cone of one aeroplane, the 747. Not to build wings, not to build engines, not to build wheels for the plane, but just to handle the avionics in the nose of the 747. During that period of time, it developed so that the only place that you would go to do the avionics in the 747 is Singapore. All them 747 around the world. We have to focus and say, look, in 10 years' time, when you talk about cybersecurity, you talk about Israel. You may talk about Latvia and Estonia. You may talk about even Singapore, certainly Silicon Valley, but you must talk about Jamaica. What we're doing in here is amazing. We have bright people. Some of them turn their brightness into other areas that, unfortunately, is called scamming. We have bright people. Many of them turn their activities into the BPO sector. The BPO sector is under me. We now have 40,000 people working in there, over 40,000 people. We expect another 30,000 people. Stacy, you have a whole heap of people to train. You have a whole heap of jobs to create, to join the BPO sector. Why am I so enthusiastic? Yes, I like IT. Sure, I like the fancy phone that my son gave me. We all like the fancy devices. But you know something? The truth is, that's not where, this is only a step to what I want. I want this to create jobs for Jamaicans. And so the SERVE business, with all this money that I hold up on the paper, showing you that DBJ is giving out through financial institutions like banks, is to create jobs. As we get back in there, sugarcane gone, banana gone, largely, some other ordinary business that we know gone, but we are creating new ones. We must create new ones, and today DBJ in the Serve Jamaica program with the assistance of a lot of money from the Ministry of Finance, a lot of cooperation from the private banks and financial institutions, making sure that MSME, a lot of you young people, having a chance to get capital, because often you want to start a business. Often you want to get going, and your mother not have the money, you didn't inherit it from your grandmother, and you can't find the money. Well, DBJ is here to provide the money. And for that, I'm very pleased today. We're talking about not only providing the money, but innovation. Young people, bright people, Jamaican people, innovating to make sure as we build back better, build back stronger, in the Jamaican instance, is that we have the capital provided by the DBJ in all kinds of forms to make sure it's available to you and that young people can use it and create inclusion. Ordinary people who don't normally go to banks will be able to use their devices to get funds and funding for the business that will help Jamaica build back stronger and create many more jobs for young people and others in this country. And I congratulate you, DBJ, and all the partners in this Serve Jamaica program.
Thank you for that very powerful call to action, Minister Hill. We're all in this digital world. We all need to go digital. Our businesses, individuals, you've pointed out that the world around us is changing. Banking, every aspect of our life is going digital. And so at the DBJ, we are very happy to be supporting this with our Go Digital initiative. So let's have that virtual round of applause again for Minister Hill for those powerful remarks and that call to action. At this time, we're going to be moving into the phase of the program, which is really the signing of the agreement between the DBJ and the Jamaica Technology and Digital Alliance. That will be overseen. The signatories will be Mr. Reynolds from the DBJ and Ms. Hines from the Jtda, and that will be overseen by Minister Hill. So I could just invite you to rearrange just a little bit while that agreement is being executed. So this agreement really covered the development of this website by the Jtda. DBJ provided sponsorship support, and the Jtda will take this forward, creating the marketplace and managing this marketplace for tech suppliers to be registered, for MSMEs to come on board and find tech suppliers. So it's godigitaljm.com. So any tech supplier out there, you can go to that website and register your business and the services that you're offering. And any MSME, any business, you'll be able to go on that website. You'll be able to go on that website and you'll be able to see the services that are available through our Jamaican high-quality tech providers. You'll be able to select tech providers and engage with them. So that agreement has been signed. So we can stand and share. Minister, you need to be there. be in the middle in a minister. Right, so thank you for that. Agreement has now been executed. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move into the question and answer segment. We invite you to put any questions you have in the chat on Zoom, and the representatives here from the DBJ, Minister Hill and Ms. Stacy Hines, will take your questions. I've seen a couple questions coming in on the chat, and the first set of questions are for, I'd say, for Stacy to answer. I think, Stacy, you covered some of these already in your presentation, but I see a question from Gordon Foote asking, how do you get registered as a company to offer services on the website? I'll just read the questions first and then you can take them.
Okay.
There's another question from Judith Hyatt. If I registered my company to provide technical assistance under the Go Digital platform prior to the launch, will I now need to reapply? And I'll just take two more for now. Are we required to be a Jtda member to be listed on the site? And how do we get registered on the site? So I'll just ask you to take those questions first.
Well, I thankfully they were also sent to me digitally, so we're good.
We're gone digital.
All right. So the first one, in terms of how to get registered as a company, you would go to the company's office and make sure that you're actually registered, that you have your TRN, your company TRN, and business ID. We would need those to ensure that we can verify that you are operating. And it's also highly recommended that you have a couple of customers that you have already served, and that is really to help with the positioning of your brand on the platform. If you have customers that you've served who can give you a reference or a recommendation, then certainly that will look better on your profile as compared to not having anyone having given you that kind of feedback. And once you have your company documents, then you can simply just go to godigitaljm.com. And once you have visited the site, it's a very straightforward process, as you would have seen on the demo. You choose register as a vendor, and then you just follow the prompts to enter your information. The second question was around whether or not you needed to fill out the application again if you were already registered with, I think it's the Go Digital through the DBJ program that we have. And what we've done to prepare for the actual launch is we had a couple of special sessions that were specifically tailored for the BDOs who've already registered with the DBJ. And I would probably recommend that we have another one where we invite those BDOs who have already been added to the DBJ system. When we have the next iteration of the platform, which is the version after the current version that's live, we anticipate that we'll have an API in place, which is basically how we can connect to each other's databases so that you can just select that you're already a member on their platform, and it will automatically authenticate you or give you permission, so to speak, to be added to the Go Digital platform. Hopefully that answered the question. Are we required to be a Jtda member? This is a really important one, guys. Very, very important. So the answer to that is no. You're not actually required to be a member. However, there are additional benefits for you when you are a member of the platform, when you're a member of Jtda. and a part of the platform. So we're not discriminating at all. We definitely want to encourage all tech vendors. We want everybody to be registered and showcasing the services that they're able to provide. And we also want to ensure that we're sustaining the organization, which is a nonprofit organization, by the way, that is providing this platform for all of you. So while we encourage you to be a member, it is not an absolute requirement at this time. Okay, and then the last question that I'll take is, how are the tech suppliers vetted if they are allowed to upload their profile on the platform? So typically what would happen behind the scenes is that after our tech vendor has entered their information, within 24 to 48 hours, we'll be actually checking in with company's office and also checking in on those customers that you've put down as referrals to make sure that your information is valid. As long as you are properly registered and your information is up to date with the company's office, you should be fine to be approved and your profile will be made visible on the platform.
Thank you very much for that,
Yeah.
Stacy.
Yeah.
We have a question on Zoom from Anna K. Tucker. See if you can open her microphone. Go ahead, Anna K., with your question. Okay, we're not hearing Anna K. All right, so there was a follow-up question in the chat as well, which I'll throw to Stacy first, but Minister and Mr. Reynolds, you can chime in on this. And it speaks to the capacity and capability of our technology providers. Do we have capable companies in our industry locally? So that's a question that's coming through on the platform as well. So
that's a great question. And I actually believe that the company that developed or is working with us to develop the platform, DMA Limited, who's also a member of the Jtda, is here. But just as a use case or a business case to show that we are more than capable, we were tasked with building this platform in a month. It was, we need to get this going so that we can start to have access provided to our MSMEs so that they can start working on that tech capability. And we were able to deliver. And I believe that one of the things we are seeking to showcase with this platform is the type of tech skills that are really buried, you know, all across the island. We have a lot of amazing vendors who are a part of the alliance and some who are not. You may be driving around and seeing billboards here and there, but aren't really familiar with the type of excellence that we have in building, you know, building tech solutions here. And it's not just when you think about technology providers, I don't want you to just think about building a website. You know, it's so much more than that. You're talking about cloud infrastructure. So maybe you want to store your data and you have to move away from, you know, filing cabinets and having everything on just one computer in case it popped down, right? We have vendors that are able to actually provide you with that cloud infrastructure support. And what we want to do is we want to showcase those vendors. So absolutely, we have the capability here on the island. We just need to be connected with you, those who need the services, because we're ready to actually serve you.
thank you, Stacy. So I'm just going to condense a couple of questions here into one, and I'll throw it at Minister and Mr. Reynolds. Given that we have this capability locally, the government very often puts out programs to support the business sector, the private sector, and very often there's a lot of, I guess, reticence. How can we get our tech providers and MSMEs to aggressively utilize these products, given especially the timeline between now and March? So I'll just throw that out to both of you.
I would believe that, as I said, the ecosystem that is being built in Jamaica is an ongoing one. You have to take a longer view when you're in this development business, which is why the Prime Minister authorized 4 of us ministers and a quite large team to go to the Arizona State University, which incidentally is one of the leading universities in the world for cyber technology and cybersecurity. What they showed me there in being done in 3D would blow your mind, and it's all very young people with a leader, with a relatively young leader below 40, doing all that stuff. What is necessary is that there must be a market. I think the growth of the BPO sector provides a first market, because through the pandemic, because of arrangements, again, done with the Ministry of Finance and the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, we were able to get people working from home, first for 6 months, extended for 6 months, then now for 1 year. And it would seem that that will continue into the future, although many companies are coming back to physical space because of all the benefits that one gets from being in a physical space. But that growth that I told you about, moving from 40,000, I was dealing with people from the BPO sector, the leaders of the association yesterday, moving from 40,000 to 30,000 is a lot of people who are going to be involved in that space. The BPO people coming from America, we're looking to encourage them, and I went to Singapore about 3 or 4 years ago. We're going to continue to move their business from Singapore and India to Jamaica. Why? There is a time zone problem. And one of the things that the pandemic brought home is that when you have a long supply chain, you're in problems. Look at how many containers we can't get in Jamaica, because many of them are coming from Asia. Well, now, American companies, and given the geopolitical issues that arise, which I'm not going to address, but you can read for yourself, they are looking to say, well, we want places that we're comfortable with. We like places that have regular elections, and the night of the election, even if you win by 1 seat, you get the Prime Minister's in the House, in Jamaica House, and he's Prime Minister. And it happens without issue. So here we are, and we're 1 hour away, and right now we're on the same time zone. So we have a market that we need to cater to, and Jtda, and all your colleagues, there's a market growing for you.
Thank you, Minister.
Yeah, I don't know that there's much more that I can add to what Minister Hill just said. I mean, we at the DBJ continue to provide opportunities for our entrepreneurs, micro, small, and medium, through our offerings, our technical assistance, and our loan offerings, our services that we provide, which will enable them to truly, get into the technology age, become digital, etc. And we will continue to do this.
I would just like to add one thing to what's been said so far. And this is really based on platforms that persons may be already accustomed to. So there is this concept called network effects. And essentially what that means is when one user logs on to a platform today, the next person that comes on is better off because of the work that you have done on the platform. And so the reason why it's so important for our MSMEs and our tech vendors to jumpstart that process is because it is you who are going to make it better for the next person. When you use the platform and we see what your needs are, then we can address those needs. So the next MSME that registered that maybe wasn't able to find a cooling supplier, for example, because they've put in a request to say we need to find a cooling supplier, we make that adjustment. Then the person that comes on, a month down the line can actually get that support. Similarly with the vendors, by adding your customer validation and by getting those reviews, when MSMEs come on, they're willing to spend with you. And so that helps the next tech vendor that comes on 2 months down the line. So this is where, the ecosystem works, and network effects can help to build and grow exponentially over time. It takes a little bit of a moment to get going, but once it gets going, as you have seen with Uber and Airbnb, the impact and potential is massive.
Wonderful.
Okay, thanks very much for that. Minister, Mr. Reynolds, and Stacy, Ms. Hines. There are a couple questions relating to cybersecurity. I'll just lump them together. Again, Gordon is asking about the capacity of local firms to deliver cybersecurity as against going overseas for support. And also, specifically for you, Minister Hill, Vitra Gopi is saying he's very happy to hear of this initiative with the University of Arizona, and he's looking forward to providing private sector support for the investment in education around cybersecurity, and hearing more about the University of Arizona initiative. So I'll just ask you both to comment on that.
In introducing me, you mentioned that I was, until I took on the ministerial position, the non-resident High Commissioner to India. I know India very, very well, and that suggests to me that it's an Indian asking that question. That question prompts me to say that one of the ways that Israel built its cybersecurity business was a lot of collaboration. Yes, the Israeli Defense Force was vital in doing this, but there's a lot of collaboration from Silicon Valley. Many of the names there you'll recognize to be Jewish names if they're not Indian names. So you find that we're going to have to collaborate. This business of building the ecosystem is not going to be done by Jamaicans alone, but you can bet your bottom dollar that this minister and our administration is going to make sure Jamaicans get the best out of this, even while right now the BPO business is financed by foreigners. We couldn't have a BPO business if we were saying BPO must come from Jamaica. It comes from elsewhere. I want us to open our mind to say the way you're going to grow. I know he went to Canada, for a fine university in Canada, McGill, to get his university. Many of us in here did that. So don't be closed that when you're dealing with something fast-moving, technically so aggressive, and often complex, that we're going to have all the resources here in Jamaica. But we must make sure when we bring the resources here, they share that knowledge across, and that's our manager's business to do that. And yes, I'm happy to see Mr. Gopi interested in this. We're going to the Arizona State University, but we're not asking them to send a few professors down here. We say, hey, we want the ecosystem developed in Jamaica, and Hart and everybody else, and much higher. UWI went with us. CMU went with us. We invited UTech when we came back, and others. And so we're doing the ecosystem here to build it, to make sure it works well for us and our benefit.
Okay, great points there, Minister Hill. One of the things that I also wanted to comment on in terms of bringing the ecosystem here, and you mentioned HEART, and we also have, of course, the Global Services Sector Initiative. We at the Jtda have partnered with them to offer free cybersecurity training, which is a Cisco certified training program. And so when somebody asked earlier, do I have to be a member to be a part of the marketplace? No, you don't. But there are some great benefits waiting for companies out there who become members of the Alliance. And that is one of the things that's available, which is, it's not necessarily something that everybody can pay for.
So glad you mentioned that. Let me say one word here, because JAMPRO and others, but led by JAMPRO, have done a tremendous job in setting up the Global Digital Services Authority. It's now in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. It's being handled by my team and myself to finalize that cabinet submission to make sure it gets established, so that as we build that ecosystem, remember now, I'm looking 10 years. Many of you will have to carry this forward. It's in 10 years' time, when somebody says cybersecurity, like them say, you want to learn how to run well, you want to do cybersecurity well, you come to Jamaica. But we cannot get there until we go through the process. It will take time, and you have to have a longer breath, which is why the government is involved. Which is why, in other words, we can't expect NCB, who must report its profits, or Scotiabank every quarter to finance this, which is a national effort. The government goes in and leads. gets private sector people in, and step back out of the process so that the whole thing can flourish. So that's the idea of going down that road, and especially with the Global Digital Services Authority.
In terms of having local cyber experts, we do have a couple of companies that are a part of the Jtda network in our community who provide cybersecurity services for some of the larger institutions on the island. Simtai Consulting is one of those companies that actually secures quite a few banks, both locally and regionally as well. And then we also have Tech that provides a managed service approach to some cyber functions. So we do have expertise here, and I know that Simtai in particular has built out a very robust cyber team and has studied globally, you know, with different experts, has partnered with different experts globally, both in North America and Europe and in LATAM, to make sure that they're delivering a certain level of service that's at an international standard.
Wonderful. Great to hear.
Thank you very much for that. So I suppose in wrapping up, or in concluding, pulling it all back together, the reality is Jamaica has a powerful talent pool with the capacity to deliver these services. The money is there clearly. DBJ, through the government of Jamaica, is putting up $3 billion to support this initiative. It's time-bound, so you have to get it before the end of March. A platform is now in place where tech providers can register, GoDigitalJM.com, and MSMEs can go on that platform and choose the provider to work with, see the solutions that can benefit them. The funding is there through the DBJ Serve program, Mr. Reynolds. So dbjserve.com again. So I think all the pieces are there, and it's really for all of us to take full advantage of these services that are available. Any closing remarks? Any final comments?
Heartiest congratulations from me. Mr. Reynolds will have the last word. He runs the thing. So really, I'm very happy to be here as representing the government, that the government has seen it sensibly and with a good sense of innovation to provide the funding that young entrepreneurs often do not have. I would like to see, and this is a bone between my friend and myself, I'd love to see DBJ move into a place where it takes some equity risks. We have to move there. You know, JMB was an equity formation by Jamaican entrepreneurs, but were helped by some officials as well. Now, DBJ has to lead that because NCB will not give you venture capital money. They can't. They're a shareholding company, but a part of a budget can be said, look, we're going to spend $10 billion this year. $500 million, $1 billion should be for venture capital arrangements. Understanding that some will be lost, but if you get 1 out of 10 and it goes like JMB, you're fine. You're covered. So we have to look at that arrangement. So I'm glad you gave me this last word, not so much to talk about cybersecurity, but also to get DBJ moving into a place as it goes into this new phase post-pandemic to inject equity capital in some of the risk, as part of some of the risk capital it's offering to develop, especially a space like this.
And I would just want to add, Minister, that we are in fact moving into this area. Microphone, yes, I just want to let the Minister know that we are in fact moving into this area. We currently have 4 private equity funds that that we have placed investments in. Again, the DBJ will not be the lead financier in these funds, but we certainly will be the initial investors. And these funds, there are at least 2 of these funds that are looking at SMEs to provide equity, exactly as you have outlined, Minister. One thing that we did not mention here this afternoon, there is $2 billion that the Ministry of Finance have given us to establish 2 private equity funds that will fund small and medium-sized entities, startup companies as well, young entrepreneurs.
Take risk.
Yes,
Take risk.
And to take risk. And we are going to be moving in that area. We are currently sending out requests for proposals from fund managers, because the DBJ, again, where the private sector has the capability, we allow them to do that, and the DBJ will provide the seed funding for these funds. The fund managers that are selected will then be required to look at getting additional funding. In this case, we're looking at least an additional, we are putting up $5 million in each one of these funds. We're looking to see that the fund manager will raise at least another $15 million to put into these funds.
What kind of currency you're dealing with?
That's US dollars.
That's why I asked you,
know,
because I know the number, and it's a US dollars. It's a whole for money.
It's a lot of money.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah, but just in closing, I just want to say how happy I am that we have been able to put on this event this afternoon. And again, just to encourage, as the minister has done, our young entrepreneurs. This is such an amazing opportunities for our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises to take advantage of the facilities that are out there and to see your business get back on track and to thrive and to grow. Really, really want to appeal to all of our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I'm excited as well, and to learn more about even fintech, which we were discussing just now, and about our vendors and about everything that's happening in the tech space, especially digital transformation. To close, I just want to invite all of you who are tuning in virtually to join us at our BizTech conference, which is currently underway. We actually, here at UWI, we're set up, we have virtual reality stations, we have Liz the Robot, but online on our virtual platform, we're actually going to be having a ton of speakers, both local and international speakers. We're currently running live now. We started today, we go till Friday. We have local and international speakers, some of those experts that persons want to find out if they have the tech capabilities. Well, we'll be showcasing and discussing the tech capabilities that we have. So I invite you to join us at BizTech 2021, and you can easily find us at Jtda by going onto LinkedIn or Instagram, Twitter, and going to biztechconf.com.
Wonderful.
So thank you. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us online. It's been a wonderful afternoon. We thank Minister Hill for being here, Managing Director Mr. Reynolds, and Ms. Stacy Hines. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.